Hey everybody! How's it going? Getting set up for another sewing stream today. Got most of my stuff ready. But we're gonna start out by showing you my fabric haul from the other day. Last stream I was working on my mock-up and sewing things together for Arwen. Hey everybody! Hey Linkfin, hey Pinkthorn, Wandering Whales, Divinicator, Red Bard, hey everybody. Nice to see you guys. So last time I was sewing my mock-up and I got most of it put together, which is still hanging out behind me. But I didn't have any final fabrics picked out, and since then I went to a fabric store and actually found the stuff that I want to use for the final product. So I want to show that off for a minute. Arwen has like 2 layers to the dress that I'm making, and so I wanted the bottom layer to be really thin and lightweight. That's how it looks, and it was silk, I guess, when they made the original dress. So I found this interesting silk that was really cheap because it was from the clearance section. Actually, they have like clearance silk at this one store that I go to sometimes, so I was really happy with this find. Hopefully it's enough to to do the whole dress, but the sleeves are already a different fabric, so I'll make it work one way or the other. I'm not too worried about it. The other thing that I found, Pacific Fabrics, that's where I got this stuff, is this. This is like a faux suede. It's upholstery fabric, so it's pretty heavy. I'm sure that Arwen's actual dress was made out of real suede, like suede leather, but I didn't want to wear that because it was going to be a lot hotter than this stuff, which doesn't breathe very well, certainly, but it does breathe better than real leather. So that was my goal, was just to have something that was going to be more comfortable than real leather. Plus I wanted to do a little bit of hand embroidery to the collar area because I couldn't find a lace that was like pre-made that I wanted to use. So yeah, I ended up going with faux suede, and I'm really happy with this color. It looks pretty accurate to me, and it matches the silk, and I found these at the same time, so I was able to like look at them together, and I think that's a pretty good combo. They do have like different finishes, like the silk being shinier, so they don't look identical, but they definitely look like they go together, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, that's my plan for Arwen stuff. I also found supplies to start working on a fake stained glass window, which I just tweeted and or posted on Instagram about. I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on right now. I've got a lot of stuff coming up in general for like the set design, plus this costume that I'm both like going full speed ahead on. Probably more even with the set design than with the costumes, but that's what these streams are for, is to give me some good progress. But anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about all that stuff and making some progress, so I'm gonna get to sewing. I also found a new boba tea place by my house. I was on my way to Starbucks, and then I found this place that was in the same parking lot that it just opened up. I'd never seen it before, so now I have a new favorite that isn't Starbucks, and I can go here instead. Thanks, Red Bard. Yeah, the colors do match pretty well on camera. I'm happy with that. I actually took my phone out and took pictures of the fabric laying together, just to kind of give me a better idea of how they would photograph together, because that's, you know, what I'm going to end up doing with it, is posting photos. So I was really happy with that color match. I was like, alright, I'm going to go ahead and get this one and stop making life difficult by ordering swatches from afar. That glazed donut, thank you for subscribing. Oh, I forgot to check what our current sub count is. I should probably do that. We're still over 100. Great, cool, 106, awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna get back to work on where I left off, which actually includes reading the instructions again. So the dress that I'm using as a mock-up treats the collar as a separate piece, so I haven't assembled that yet. I assembled the rest of the dress, just not the collar. And I'm gonna do that today. I hope. Not this page. That is suboptimal. No, that's wonderful. Oh, no Twitch notifications? Well, I hope some of you guys turned up. I'm glad. Thank you. Let's see. Alright, so I am making view A, I believe. Yes, I am. I need to get my collar pieces out. They're right here. And I'm gonna adjust my camera. Hey Jessie Lynn, thanks for the hair comment. Thanks to Vindicator for the cheer. What song is this? Let me check. As always, we're listening to Radio Cutman on YouTube. It's from Monster Hunter. The artist is K Murdoch, or like the remix artist, or this arrangement is by K Murdoch, and the song just says Monster Hunter's Instro. So this is a version of that song. Alright, continuing with this. Yoke back and yoke front. I tried to take yesterday off of working on costumes and all of that, and I definitely did not accomplish that. Because I ended up running errands all day and going out and finding stuff and getting the pillars, those columns that I posted about, getting those to my house, and getting stuff like the stained glass window. So that's what I ended up doing all day yesterday instead of relaxing. So today is going to be definitely a more relaxed stream. Okay, I think I understand now. It wants you to stay stitchy edges. Yoke back to front. Okay. So I figured out how to put these weird pieces together. Sorry, I needed to take a minute to just read the instructions because it is confusing. But it wants you to do an inset corner of putting the back into the front. So that's what we're going to do. Pinkthorn made a successful go of serging fabric edges and installing invisible zippers. Those are wonderful skills to have if you're getting into sewing, so I'm glad that worked out. Congratulations. Alright, once again I'm clipping this corner because that's how I do my inset corners. By clipping them first. Alright, you know it gets serious when I'm actually concentrated on sewing. But I now understand how they want me to put this together. So, now I'm going to do that. Jared left the other day to go on a trip, and so I've been home alone, or I will be home alone for the next couple of days. So I was thinking about doing a couple more streams. We'll see if I actually go through with that. But currently I'm thinking of streaming an extra stream on Monday, and I'm gonna announce that now so that I hopefully stick with that plan. But otherwise I've just been arranging flowers and trying to stay busy working on stuff while he's gone. So far it's been pretty good. But I have quite a lot of work cut out for myself on arranging flowers for that flower wall that's getting really close, as well as now these pillars and this stained glass window that I want to work on, which if you haven't seen that, I posted on Twitter and Instagram. But basically got some more set pieces for cosplay photo shoots that are like some pillars that I found on the gardening section, like home and garden section of OfferUp. And I think they were taken from like a church or some fancy garden somewhere or something, but I'm gonna use them inside as pillars for a cosplay photo. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Jared hasn't seen any of that, so when he gets home, it's gonna be like kind of a surprise, because he's like off the grid. He's not using his phone this week. And so I'm actually really excited for him to come home and see all of that, because he doesn't really know. Like, he knows what I was planning, and I told him about it, and I said, you know, I'm getting these pillars and doing this thing. And he's seen the flower wall as it comes together, but I don't think he really knows like what it's gonna look like when it's all together. And so one of my goals is to just like get as far as I possibly can on that, so that when he comes home and sees it, it'll be like a fun surprise. Oh, hey, Nina. Thanks for hosting. Oh, Bork Raid. Thanks, guys. Nice to see you here. We're having a sewing stream today for Arwen. Working on the dress that she wears at the beginning of Fellowship of the Rings, in her first scene where she shows up. Bork, bork, bork. Thank you, guys. That's cute. That's a really cute emote, Nina. Your dog is really cute from the photos that I've seen you post. Rowdy Roddy is using an emote of my cat, who is just showing up right now. Thank you, Nina. I'm excited to get some progress on this dress. Aries, will you come and say hi to everybody who's borking at you? Come here. Come here. He's like right here. There we go. He's gradually. Oh, here he is. He's a very big boy. Yes, he summoned the fuzz beast by using his emotes, and he knew. He somehow was aware and had to show up. What's up, Aries? Anytime that Jared is gone, Aries asks for a lot of special attention because nobody else is around to hang out with him. And he spends a lot of time in Jared's office hanging out with Jared while Jared records and edits and stuff. So if Jared is gone, I'm graced with Aries' presence even more often. People are calling him both a lion and a titan, which are both true. How are you feeling? Have you had a good morning? He likes to sit upright. He is very vocal. He also likes to sit on laps. Alright, Aries stream. Now we're just gonna hang out with my cat. Switching to IRL now. Just kidding. Aries, I have to sew. Will you help me sew this dress? I need your opinion. I need your artistic input. He purrs really loudly too. You probably can't hear him from the distance that we are to the mic, but let me spend a moment loving on Aries because he is otherwise doesn't get anybody else giving him attention right now. He is a very good boy. Isn't that right, Aries? But he's also a spoiled boy. Like, he just He's yes, he's constantly demanding attention. So he always pretends like it's the end of the world and he hasn't gotten any attention at all, and he's just desperate for it, but it's not true. Oh dang, did I already miss a Link Fan donation? Oh man, I'm sorry, Link Fan. I just noticed that it's up there at the top of the stream and I don't even think I saw you. You must have done that when you came in. Yep, there you are. Thank you, Link Fan. Here, I'm gonna replay it because I missed it. Yay! Thanks, Link Fan. Anything from this stream, like before, is gonna go 100% towards the flower wall goal, which we're currently at 78%, which even more now thanks to Link Fan. Which I think I calculated that was somewhere at around like $66. So that's my remaining goal to raise for the flower wall specifically, and once I get there, I will consider that one like 100% funded and move on to other stuff like the stained glass window and the pillars and stuff that I'm now working on, and the castle stuff. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Link Fan, for donating as usual, and sorry that I was like distracted or not, maybe before I went live. Thanks for the 20 bucks. Thanks, Nina. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the working raid. It was nice to see you. And Aries says hello to all of you guys. All right, I'm getting back to sewing now. That was a wonderful distraction, both of those things. The presence of Aries, which, yeah, he's settled down. He's over on the other side of the room. He's probably gonna hang out here for a while, so maybe he will show up again before the end of this stream. We'll see. That boy will put anybody's legs to sleep. That's actually pretty accurate because he's so heavy. Hey Katar, welcome. Let me grab my sewing machine that got set aside yesterday. Yeah, I love this song. This is always a good streaming playlist. Radio Cut Man on YouTube, if you guys are interested. Alright. So now I'm doing some inset corners, which is where I'm sewing at basically two pieces together that have a corner inside them. And I did a tutorial on this that you can go and look up if you want to know about the details of it. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and stitch it. So here we go. Getting set up. I have Aries' hair like stuck to my face because that's what happens anytime that he comes and like rubs all over me. Is that he's just so fuzzy that it flies everywhere, and now I'm like trying to, like, I can still feel it on me, but I can't get rid of it. Also my boba tea. Patty, I'm glad that you're here too. The camera is autofocusing too much? Alright, let me see what I can do about that. Are you talking about my face cam? Let me... Okay, now it's focused on my face. I don't have the same camera controls I'm used to looking at. Oh, here we go. Here's autofocus. Ugh. And of course, when I try to turn that off, it immediately just loses its shit. Okay. Does that seem in focus to you? It's hard for me to tell at this distance, actually. But I need to stay there. Okay, does that look good for you now? Good enough, I think. Alright, sorry about that. Autofocus is now off, but I had to manually focus it, so hopefully that I actually did a good enough job. It's hard for me to tell at the distance that I'm sitting, but if I move forward, then I'm changing the focus. We Gucci? Oh, alright. Whoa, Martin! Let me read this comment saying... Martin donated $100 saying, just wanted to send some support while Jared is out. Much respect to those who create. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. That, Martin78 was the name on that. So that just like totally tipped me over my goal for finishing the flower wall. Thank you so much. Divinicator is asking, the music doesn't get muted on my archives because Divinicator played Star Wars music for a Battlefront stream and most of it was muted. Yes, that is correct. The music that I'm playing and this whole playlist is stream safe. So you can use the exact same playlist that I'm using for free and you won't have any issues with the music being muted on the replay. Hey Corgi Creations, nice to see you following. Thanks for dropping by the stream. Pinkthorn is making a costume with pockets. That's always a really good feeling to be working on pockets for your costumes. I also like making bags, like themed bags. If the costume itself doesn't have a convenient place for pockets, sometimes I'll just make myself like a little pouch or something. I need these present as well. Everybody say hi to Core Geek Creations, another guy who lives in the same general area up in the Seattle area, and a really talented prop maker and fabricator, and somebody to be following if you're interested in that kind of thing. Yeah, Divinicator, check out like stream safe playlists, and this is a really good option, Radio Cutman, and it's free and you can support them and promote them too. And I love this music, so it's easy to enjoy. And now we finally start sewing like 20 minutes into my sewing stream. Setup is important. I forgot to clip the curve on this other piece, but I'm doing that now. One of my friends made me watch The Room last night for the first time ever. I'd never seen that before. So it's sort of still on my mind. And I don't want to get too far into discussing it because I think that most people... Hey, Isaac's Vision, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. I don't want to get too far into talking about The Room because I feel like most people at this point have either seen it and analyzed it already or they don't want to. But man, I can't stop being horrified by what I watched last night. So that's my experience with being alive today. How about you guys? Have you watched anything better than The Room lately? Hopefully. I think it's hard to top that in terms of horrible things. Oh, Red Bard is heading out for dinner. Well, cool. Enjoy your time with your friend. See ya. Yes, Sochin Aries already rolled through here, but I feel like he's probably gonna come back. There's a Tommy, Tommy emote. Wonderful. Everyone's like, I only watch streams on YouTube. That's probably for the best. Or at the very least, don't spend your time with the room. Ah. My needle went past the edge of the fabric on my corner, so I'm going to redo that. This is a really odd corner spot because it is both a curve and a corner. Let me try stitching this one more time. Here we go. Nailed it. Ancient Magus Bride, is that one I should check out? And watch it again with riff tracks. Maybe I'll give that a chance. But yeah, I had never seen it before. Now I feel like I understand a lot more memes. On a related note, I convinced Jared to watch Zoolander for the very first time. He had never ever seen it before. That was just a few days ago. So I didn't even realize until I watched it again how many memes like that are still popular and that have been used for years, like all originated from Zoolander. And so it is like almost like culturally important to understand the humor of the internet. But yeah, it was a pretty good evening that we just like drank wine and watched Zoolander together. Alright, I'm past the corner, which is good. I hate that part. Alright, there's one. Let's see how I did. There we are. Actually, I kind of nailed that. So now this all functions as one piece that creates like more of a collar shape, I suppose. Oh, this is the back and this is the shoulder. And so it curves over like that. Yeah, alright, cool. On to the next one. Well, I'm glad that worked out. I actually have a lot more confidence about this now, and I think that the pattern is the correct shape. I was looking at it before putting it together and thinking like, oh, I wonder if I'm gonna have to like repattern this piece to make it more accurate because I wasn't sure that it was using like the same types of shapes to create that collar. But now I think that it actually is. So we'll see. Is this mock-up full size or just a tiny demo? No, it is full size. I'm only working on the very top piece, but the mock-up is on this dress behind me, or the dress form behind me. So this is the whole thing here. And to make it a little bit more apparent what part we're doing, this is going to have a zipper down the front, and that's where the closure is for the dress. And let's see, what did I... This becomes a part of the top of the dress. Yeah. So this is not actually the neckline. This is the neckline where it has this collar piece and it's all built in. The way this pattern is arranged, the collar is a separate piece than the rest of the dress, but the way that Arwen's dress actually looks in the movie is that it's all one piece. So we're gonna attach them, and then I'm just going to start working and changing the pattern and treat it all like one piece of fabric. So I'm gonna move a couple seam lines and kind of adjust how this pattern gets put together, but I'm ultimately gonna create something with a similar shape. Anyway, there you go. Anubis Ash just asked, have I ever thought of cosplaying as Asuna from Sword Art Online? I have cosplayed as Asuna from Sword Art Online, and now I'm gonna link to my own website because you asked. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm just gonna drop this link into the chat. And you can follow that link. Post it a couple times. Follow that link if you want to look at my Asuna cosplay photos that are on my website, which I need to update, but whatever. Today we're sewing, one thing at a time. Divinicator that said that that's how you found me is through Asuna. That's pretty cool. I'm glad to hear that. I've thought about reshooting Asuna if I make this sort of like church, cathedral, castle kind of set that I'm working on. Then I think it would be good for taking photos of Asuna. My Asuna costume is not one that I wear to conventions anymore because it has some damaged parts to it. They are relatively minor. It's like some stains on the arms and things because they got wet and some of the dye from the leather ran onto the fabric. So I kind of retired it from wearing it, but realistically I could still put it on for a photo shoot and then just like fix up the little stains in Photoshop or something. But the majority of the costume looks good and it's still wearable. I just don't think I would wear it like out. So maybe I'll eventually do some more Asuna photos. Perfect. I nailed that corner. You guys like SAO? Did Jared and I like it? We liked the first season. That's why I cosplayed from it, but I didn't like it beyond that. Did I ever get any photos of my Celica cosplay? I never finished the Celica cosplay. The Celica cosplay progress got destroyed during the flood, and I basically would have had to start over completely, and so I just scrapped that project. So the Celica cosplay, unfortunately, never existed. So that was a bummer. That was one I still get asked about, but unfortunately I'm just no longer planning to work on that costume. My interest has changed. I kind of moved on to other things. Am I going to take any Asuka photos of my flower wall? I could take anything. I hadn't thought about Asuka specifically, but that wouldn't hurt. Part of the problem though is that I used to use my real hair for Asuka and then I cut it. So I'll have to get a wig, but I could do that. Like, you know, I definitely could. Yeah, Crystal Fear. It was a big bummer, but I mean, I'm mostly over it. I was upset about it at first, but I've got too many other things on my mind to be sad about things that I lost. I've got too many other good ideas, and I'm working on them. And life is full of possibilities. But yeah, if you guys like Asuka, I could take photos with that. I kind of want to revisit a lot of older costumes now that I have better photo abilities, because it's old work that is still cool. I mean, I feel like I could still wear a lot of those costumes. I'm just not as motivated to get them out for conventions anymore. Yeah, there are so many other projects to pick from. You guys see how I'm just like constantly bouncing around from one thing to another, and I have so many ideas. Like, yeah, it sucks. I was really sad about it for a long time, but I've got too much other stuff going on. Did I ever do Lin Beifong? Not a real Lin costume. I like got drunk at a con one night in like fake Lin costume. But I really want to do that one. That one's definitely on the list of strong possibilities for things that I want to work on eventually, is Lin Beifong. She's just like one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. So I feel like I'm morally obligated to cosplay as Lin Beifong at some point in my life. What was my first official cosplay of? I say different things from different times because it's hard to say what's like official. But most of the time I count Miss Aubrey from Dance Central as my first official costume, because that was the first one that I actually wore to a convention. It was entirely complete. And I picked that one because Jared really liked that game. We were already dating at the time, so I've been with him for longer than I've been a cosplayer. But the first one that I ever fully made myself was White Mage from Final Fantasy 1. That I actually like went to the store, bought fabric, created a pattern, sewed it together from scratch. Was the White Mage. Who's Lin again? Lin is from Avatar Legend of Korra. She's the daughter of Toph Beifong, who's another one of my favorite characters of all time. But I appreciate them as different people, because they are very different. And she's my fictional wife. Like, if there's a character in the world in existence that is like the one that I call the badass police lady, yes, the badass police lady. I have the figurine that they created for Lin, because she is a badass police lady. She's one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. And so she's like my waifu, so to speak. Not waifu, but just wife. Just fictional wife, animated wife. Alright. That is starting to look like Arwen. So now I need to put these pieces onto the gown. I'm gonna sew them together in the back first. And iron them. I'm gonna iron them. I'm gonna do it right over here. I came up with a portable iron setup so that I could do that without having to rearrange everything. But I'm also just kind of always rearranging things. Jared's a Sailor Mercury, yeah. Are there any photos of my Miss Aubrey cosplay? No, not really. I never did a photo shoot with that one. It's certainly not something that's very good, to be honest. It was years ago. It was before I could sew. So it's really not very impressive. Which I thought about showing it as like a before and after, learning how to cosplay kind of thing, but it's not even really that cool looking. So this is a ironing pad. You can just take these, they're like really portable ironing surfaces that you can just make any type of surface into an ironing board. So that's what I'm gonna do. Instead of taking the camera over to my ironing board, I'm just gonna turn my table into an ironing board. MetaGeek says they love my cosplays. Thank you. Yeah, it's a really convenient ironing thing, like if you're on the go, or if you live in a really small space and you don't have a lot of room to have different furniture, you can just throw this ironing pad down on the table you're already working on. The only thing is that I also have a plastic surface here, so I really need to be careful. I generally only use this on really low heat settings, just because of this being plastic right below. So yeah, the heat setting is okay for right now. I just clipped out some of the extra seam allowance, and now I am ironing it flat. If you're new to sewing or learning about sewing, it's important to iron your work in between while you're working on it. Not always necessary after every single seam, but generally most seams need to be ironed before you move on to start connecting them to other pieces. So that's what I'm doing now. This is laying a lot flatter. There's the seam. So it's laying, the two pieces are laying flat where they meet now in a way that they weren't before because I have ironed it. And so just doing the little extra steps will help a lot in making your end product really crisp. Isaac Vision's gotta head out. Well, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. Sochin is asking what kind of fabric would be good for a headband if you're gonna be sweating a lot. Something that's moisture wicking. So if you go to a fabric store, look in the spandex section or knits, and look for anything that's labeled moisture wicking. And that is a term that describes like fabric that's breathable, that is going to absorb moisture and allow it to be like, I guess, I don't know exactly. I just thought about it, I was like, I don't have a wonderful explanation for that. It's used for athletic wear and it's designed to be sweat in, I guess is a better explanation. And I don't know all of the science behind it if I'm being 100% honest, but it's something that promotes breathability and promotes like your sweat for traveling through the fabric and then being, what's the word for it? Not absorbed, but back into the, evaporating. That's what I'm trying to say, evaporating. Okay, that's what moisture wicking fabric does. So I would recommend using that. Sorry for that roundabout explanation because I forgot a word. What did Divinicator say? Oh, we've got some smooth jazz going on. Alright, there we go. Cool, ironing my second one now. And we'll be back to stitching more stuff together. I'm honestly so stoked about those aluminum pillars that I bought. I wanted to make some fake pillars out of like sonotube, which are these large cardboard tubes that they use for pouring concrete and construction. Basically, I was going to put a bunch of effort and time into building fake columns out of cardboard. And instead of having to do that, I was able to purchase pre-made columns out of aluminum, which are a lot more sturdy and beautiful. and save myself a ton of time. So I'm really excited about that. Alright. Move this out of the way. And get back to stitching stuff. Anyway, okay, cool. Caught up with my chat. I'm sewing the back two panels together, and then we'll attach it to the rest of the dress. And then it will hopefully look correct. I'm glad I finally figured out these pieces and how they're supposed to fit together. Because I honestly wasn't sure what this pattern was asking for, but now I think it's actually pretty accurate to what I was trying to make for Arwen. I'm also really happy that the weather is starting to be really beautiful here, because as much as I am enjoying working on indoor photo sets, I'm also really looking forward to going out and exploring different foresty locations here, because there's a lot of really cool stuff in this area, like waterfalls and streams and parks and huge trees, and just like, I've never lived in a place, in a part of the world that had this much like natural beauty, so I'm really excited about going and doing photo shoots. And so Arwen is a costume that I'm definitely gonna like take into the forest, and I'm really looking forward to that. Found me through my Rifia cosplay. That photo, that's a really old cosplay. That was the second costume I made entirely by myself, was Rifia, and that's from Final Fantasy III. That's a costume that I absolutely want to reshoot with the flower wall, because I have very few flowers of that costume. That's so cool. The Divinicator, so you just like found my cosplay randomly and didn't realize that I was married to Jared. That's really awesome. Hi Muckety Muck 7. I always have a hard time reading that super bright green color. I had to like highlight your name to find out who was saying hey. Take a trip to the Snoqualmie area with the waterfalls? I think I will. I heard some of my photographer friends were talking about that exact place, I'm pretty sure. I'll see who's up for it, but I think I will go out to some area like that. Rifa is your waifu? That's amazing. Emeril says, hey, I'm French and I love your works. Awesome. Nice to meet you, Emeril. Emeril, maybe? That's super awesome. I'm really glad to hear that you like my Rifia cosplay, because it's such a like obscure one. Divinicator, now that I know that, I do really want to reshoot Rifia and get a better wig for that. That's a super old costume, but I'm pretty sure I still fit in it. So that one I would definitely take photos of with my flower wall. Okay, so this is now the entire collar piece. It goes on like that. I think. We'll see. Oedipus Ash found me through Jared. Well, that's nice of him. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put this collar on his dress. Which is mainly going to include lots of pinning. Oh, I think I was wearing this upside down. That's why it looked weird. Let me try this again. Here, I'll take my little sweater off. Alright. That is the back. This is the little collar. Okay, that's better. That's correct. And that way it comes together and like meets at the front, although I didn't do a very good job of that. Okay, that's what that's supposed to look like. Which means this is the center back. It needs to be lined up here. Apocryphobic Pixie says, my friends and I used to do who can cosplay the most obscure character at cons, and whoever had the fewest number of people recognizing them, dealers do not count, won. That's really funny. And it's funny that dealers are more likely to recognize people because they probably spend all of their time looking at cosplayers and looking at merchandise from shows. And so that's probably why they would know so many characters. That's pretty funny. True obscure characters. That's awesome. Hey, Casual Viking. Welcome. I love this song. Hello, Kikode Reka. Hopefully I didn't completely butcher that pronunciation. That sounds like a funny game to cosplay the most obscure things. I've done my fair share of obscure costumes, but I have even more that I want to cosplay. Okay, that should go all the way to the edge. Alright, we're gonna have to do some clipping to make all of this fit. It'll be good. You cosplay obscure characters all the time, one or two people recognize you. Yeah, and it's always fun when people do recognize something really obscure, or when you see something really obscure that you didn't expect to see cosplay of. That's like more exciting to me than just seeing like whatever popular new characters. Seeing the thing that you didn't expect to find at the con that you're super stoked about. It's so refreshing to find somebody who's really excited about your cosplay too. Do I post anything to YouTube? I was uploading on my stream archives there, but nothing else, and I need to catch up on stream archives because I'm behind. But I haven't been making any sort of original YouTube videos in quite some time. Yeah, I just discovered that I didn't have very much time or effort that I wanted to put into like editing videos. And so streaming is so much better for me because I don't have to worry about that. Hey, Hertzilla, thank you for subscribing. That was for 7 months, too. 7 months in a row, thank you. But yeah, streaming is... I already spend so much time making things and editing photos, and now I'm doing photo sets and photography and stuff in addition to making the costumes. I no longer live in La La Land. Oh yeah, that's right. I do need to update my website. Yeah, there's so much I need to catch up to and update, but I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, Twitch is better for me because I don't have to put extra effort into like creating the video where I'm showing, like I do tutorial stuff, so it's so much more streamlined to just do it live and show you what is going on and teach like little tidbits as they come up, compared to working on a video of something, having to film the entire time that I'm crafting, having to go back through all of that footage, which is super time consuming, having to cut it down to like the most useful parts. There's just like tons and tons of work that goes into just talking about the thing that is too much for me, given how much time I'm already spending just making the thing. So, I like Twitch more than YouTube. But yeah, I do need to update my website. I keep getting reminded that. I would like my website to be more up to date and start including stuff like the set designs that I've been working on. Alright, I got these pieces to line up perfectly, which is refreshing. It's all on the curve. So now I just have to do the other side. Let's see. Muckety Muck says, I haven't cosplayed in so long because the sewing machine finally broke. RIP. Aw. Hoping to get back into it soon and that my cosplays inspire them. Thank you so much for saying so, and I really hope that you're able to get back into it if that's what you want to do. I find it very rewarding to have ongoing creative projects. Hey, thanks for the bits. Icy Rider says, really liked Breath of the Wild Zelda cosplay. Thank you so much. That was a really fun one, and I made a lot of that one on stream too. Roaring Blaze sword from Shining Blade. That sounds awesome. All right. I have a little bit more equipment here. What has been my favorite costume to make? The costume that I always say is my favorite in general is Twilight Princess Zelda, but now that I'm really thinking about it, I don't think I would say that one's the most fun to make because I did it while I was really stressed out. And compared to that, Breath of the Wild Zelda, the winter coat was way more relaxed. I was still working like on a fairly, strict deadline or whatever. Like I was still like having to work every day and adhere to a schedule, but I wasn't stressed out in the same way because I just like budgeted my time better to begin with. So I think that Breath of the Wild Zelda was the most fun to make because I was able to put in all of the effort that I wanted to into making it, come out the way that I was hoping it would, without feeling that same pressure or like stress and tension of like fearing that I wasn't going to finish in time. So I would say Breath of the Wild Zelda. Annabis Ash is talking about a YouTube vid of guys forging Asana's lambent light sword. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. The Masters at Arms crew did a lambent light, and they have a YouTube channel where they create like actual metal versions of various props from video games and movies and animation and stuff like that. I also bought a very beautiful replica of the blade from a prop maker friend of mine. I don't know that he's still making props because it was a long time ago, but I've always loved that prop that I bought, and I'd love to do another photo shoot with it. Hey Joran, welcome! Speaking of forging actual swords, Joran here is a blacksmith who makes really beautiful works of art and blades of all sizes and shapes. So yeah. I'm just working on Arwen today, pinning fabric together. This is still the mock-up, but I'm getting really close to having all of the pieces together for this, so. Yeah, and Abisash, I'm sure that is the channel you're thinking of because it's a really popular one, and I have also watched quite a bit of their videos, and they're amazing, so yeah, it's a fun channel to watch, for sure. People are chatting about what costumes they're working on. If you're working on a costume, let us know in the chat what you're working on. Or if you're working on some other creative project, let us know what you guys have going on out there today. Getting more of this pinned. We're getting close. Playing Divinity 2 with a friend? That sounds fun. Pinkthorn is working on Star Guardian Lulu. Sounds like a fun costume too. Planning stages for a Star Wars cross-stitch as magical Kit Kats. That's a cool project. Otsuki Ukami says they're working on Japanese final. Well, yeah, good luck. Good luck with your exam. Being productive on a Saturday afternoon. I like this remix a lot. Divinicator's working on homework. Hey, whatever needs to get done. Crescent Thorn is working on Keith from Voltron, I guess, and Velvet from Ruby. These are both nice designs. Patty is a bag maker working on a wallet. That's awesome. Thank you, Joran, for saying so about my Arwen costume. I'm excited for this costume to come together. feel like I've got most of this playlist just memorized at this point. I mean, it's quite extensive. There's a long. Katar says, I'm petting a cat. That's very important. I'm really glad. I'm glad that you're having that experience right now. I wish I were right there with you. I have a cat. I'll have to track him down later. I'm sure he would be happy to be pet. Clip this a little bit better. Icy Rider is working on D&D script D&D story writing. That's fun. Have fun with your game. Having trouble getting these to fit, so I'm just gonna work a little bit harder on easing them into place. I have a freaking Goliath instead of a cat. That's yeah, that's not wrong. He's enormous. Do I play D&D with Jared? We have before, but unfortunately we have not had very many opportunities. After Arwen, what costume do I think I'll be making? That's a good question. I like to leave it open so that I don't get, like my attention is always everywhere. I want to run in every direction at once. So it's hard for me to commit to more than one at a time because my plans are always 10 different things that I want to do. So I try to go one at a time of saying, okay, I'm making this one, now I'll make this one. Because I always have like 10 things that I want to make at once. So it's hard for me to answer that question when I don't even have my Arwen dress fabric cut out yet, but usually the people here in the stream are the first to know what my next costume will be. So if you keep attending streams, then I'm sure that you'll find out before anyone else. Going a little bit better this time. I've got more clips and I'm just being more aggressive about making sure they fit correctly. Almost there. Sorry, this is taking all of my concentration, but we're almost there. Boba tea again. Oh, this is a little bit easier going from this angle for the pinning. Let's see if I can make this all fit. Annabis Ash is saying that I could do Ellie, but Jared would be a terrible Faye Fong Wong. I mean, Jared's not a cosplayer. Jared doesn't make costumes, and I'm not gonna sit around making costumes for Jared because you guys have seen how long this takes me, weeks to months just to make one thing. So I get a bit peeved when every single time I talk about wanting to make literally any new costume, somebody chimes in with, well, what about Jared? And I'm just like, what about Jared? Jared's not a cosplayer. Jared's not up here sewing with me. And you know, Jared is wonderful, and Jared is involved in a lot of the things that I am, and we do a lot of things together, but I don't have time to make him costumes too. So yeah, he's not interested in cosplaying, and if he was, then he would have all of the same opportunities to use my equipment. I know you didn't mean anything by it, and nobody ever means anything by it, but it happens every single time I talk about cosplaying anything. Yeah, someone will say that every single time, no matter what it is. And that's something I have to live with, but here in my streams, I just wanted to let you know how I feel about it. Which is that I love him, but I don't want to double my workload just to sew for him because other people think it would be cool. I have too much of my own things to do. Like sew this that I just put a monstrous amount of clips on. And when I sew this seam, then hopefully I'll be able to put it on and show it off. Thank you, Divinicator. Yeah, he's busy with his things, and I'm busy with my things. People always also ask him if I'm his video editor because he has an anonymous female video editor. It is not me. And we always have to say, like, no, Heidi's busy. Heidi has her own stuff to do. If I were his editor, I would just say so. Hi, Pistachio. Thank you. Hertzilla says that they're gonna go join Jared's stream and bug him about whether he ever cosplays anything. You could do that, yeah. He cosplayed Sailor Mercury. He cosplays things that he could buy. And he'll occasionally cosplay with me because sometimes I want him to be a character. I want to make something that's like a group. So that does happen, that's correct. But that only happens when I'm the one who wants to make it. So he doesn't get to cosplay very often. I still have Aries hair on my face, oh my gosh, and I can't get rid of it. I'm trying. With the Aries hair. I don't know what he did. How he just is always all over my face. He's no longer in here. He took off. I'm so happy about flower walls and pillars and sewing this. I don't think I'm going to stream for super long today because I have so many flowers that I want to go downstairs and arrange. And thanks to generous people of this stream, we are now at 100% of that flower roll goal. So I really want to keep moving on it and be able to show off the finished thing. Getting so close. So thank you guys for supporting the dream and for showing up to the stream and chatting with me. After I do this seam, I'm actually going to be finished with this part of the mock-up. So this will be like the first round of the mock-up. After this, I'll put it on and start making adjustments. I'll need to adjust the fit a little bit, and then I'll need to move a couple of seam lines and adjust like how the pieces go together. But this is... So basically I'll do like a second full version most likely after this. But this version of that mock-up will be done. That's a pretty big milestone. Almost halfway there. Over halfway there. Twilight Princess Link versus Tomb Link? Definitely Twilight Princess Link. He's hotter! Emerald, good night. Nice to chat with you. Thanks for stopping by. Almost there, guys. I'm probably gonna, well, I'll put this together and show it off and talk a little about adjustments, and then that'll probably be it for my stream today. So I've got flowers to arrange and pillars to paint. Do any Twitch-approved adventure music, D&D style stuff? Not off the top of my head, no. I would try Googling those words or using YouTube to look for that. But, oh, you are looking for it? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sorry, I don't know of anything specifically. Jared likes to listen to music called Chill Step, which you can find some nice ongoing playlists of that too on YouTube. It's not quite adventure music, but it's like good background tunes you don't have to listen to very hard. Alright, we're almost there. I'm at the very end of this collar. The last seam of my first mock-up. Making seam allowance lay flat. Oh good, some people in the chat have answers. That's good. Alright, that's it. I'm just back stitching and we are done. Alright, let's do it. Everyone's chatting about different types of role-playing games. Here we are. So this is the end of my first mock-up. I need to make some changes to it, obviously. First of all, I probably won't do I'm not gonna actually install a zipper in this one. I'll just do some changes, but it looks like it'll close pretty well. I need to add a hip seam. It's got kind of like a pointed seam in the front that includes the sides. And then the sleeve shape needs to change a little bit, and the hem on the bottom shape needs to change a little bit. And those are the biggest things. I feel like this collar shape could be a little bit better. Thanks, guys. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. You can chat about D&D. I'm probably gonna end the stream here now. But this is what I got done today. So thanks for motivating me to help finish this costume mock-up. And now you have a general idea of what the rest of it will look like. I do need to change the shape a little bit. This collar is, I think, a little bit too big, and hers has a little bit more structure to it. But this is a really good starting point. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with me today. I'm gonna call it good so I can move on to other things, but Divinicator, yes, this is not the final one. This is just the mock-up. Anyway, I will talk to you guys next time. Oh, that's right, Monday. I'm gonna commit to doing an additional stream Monday. And I think that what I'm gonna do is, Monday will be a photo editing stream, which is something that I want to start doing regularly. Is instead of having just only creative streams, I'll do photo editing streams on Monday, and that way they won't interfere with my regularly scheduled crafting streams on Wednesday and Saturday. So if you want to show up for photo edits, that'll be on Mondays only, and you'll know what to expect. So see you guys on Monday if you want to stop by for photo edits. And have a good rest of your day. All right, bye guys.